Hello, students, and welcome to Society and Mass Communications. My name is Professor Nate House, and I've been teaching at CCP for the last 12 years. Before that, I worked as a journalist here in Philadelphia, and before that, I worked at restaurants while completing degrees in journalism and creative writing at Temple University. I'm really honored and proud to be a professor here at CCP, and look forward to getting to know all of you this semester and hearing your observations about about mass media and the society that we live in. Like many of you, media is an important part of my life. It is where I get information about politics, culture, sports, the weather, and fishing. But as we know, much of this information can't always be trusted. And while the fake news term is a fairly new phenomenon, people have just distrusted mass media, often for good reasons, for hundreds and hundreds of years. Now, mass media includes books, newspapers, magazines, film, radio, TV, video games, the internet, and smartphones. It is around us all the time. We cannot escape from it. Even a billboard is a version of mass media. Now, mass media is defined as platforms used to deliver messages to a large audiences. Now, mass communication is the communication process that emerges from the delivery of those messages through those platforms, right? And while that is the standard definition of what mass media and mass communication are, our understanding of it and how we use it in our daily lives and the theories and effects it produces are constantly evolving through time. Now, these times that we live in are quite complicated. We have cultural divides, a pandemic, global warming, a reckoning with our past and present systemic racism, and other issues that demand to be addressed. And while we address these issues as individuals, as government, as schools, we also expect media to help us figure out the causes, effects, and solutions of some of these issues. However, as we see, media sometimes don't always do a good job helping us understand the society that we live in. In our fragmented media environment, meaning everybody's getting information from different sources, right? It's incredibly difficult to come up with one story about one issue. Now, traditionally, the media help us ask and answer questions and come to that mutual understanding about issues that affect our culture and democracy. However, in today's media environment, because of technological determinism, the idea that technology is the driving force behind our world and culture, and that increasingly fragmented audience that can now curate and create its own content, we are witnessing how media can both divide and unite us, liberate or control us. That's how powerful it is. For example, the same changes in media that fueled the Black Lives Matter movement and Me Too, and It Gets Better, also helped fuel the rise in hate groups and a dizzying array of conspiracy theories that led some people to wage some terrorists, to wage war on our democracy, right? So the same tools used by the Black Lives Matter movement are also some of the same tools, although they've been kicked off those traditional Twitter, Facebook platforms, are the same tools, the same kind of strategy used by hate groups. Now, according to a 2014 study by Dr. Jim Roberts of Baylor University, college students spend an average of 8 to 10 hours a day on their cell phones. This is more time than people spend at a full-time job. This indicates that our consumption of media and our creation of media has become a full-time job that many of us don't get paid for, unless we're influencers. Now, because we spend so much of our time consuming and creating media, this class is designed to help us understand the history of mass media, how it is produced, and what effects it has on our society and culture. As we've seen in the most recent election, the media can be an incredible political and cultural force. However, the media is changing, and one of those changes includes the shift of power from traditional media to social media. The audience, when I say traditional media, I'm meaning books, magazines, newspapers, television, radio, film. New media is obviously social media. The audience now has more power to shape and challenge ideas and stories from the mainstream media. Also, anyone with a cell phone and an internet connection now has the tools necessary to create their own content and deliver it to a mass audience. We are all becoming journalists. Now, while this has been instrumental in helping deliver necessary messages to the audience, it has also created that fragmented media environment rife with false stories and biased reportings. Now, ironically, when the internet was in its infancy 30, 40 years ago, many media theorists imagined a digital environment that would bring people together to exchange ideas and engage in meaningful debates and create a stronger democracy. That's what many people thought. Now, there are places where this does happen that you and me go to, right? But there are also places where the debate turns into hateful rhetoric against people of different races, genders, classes, and sexual orientation. There's a lot of bullying going on out there. In this class, we will explore many examples of how the media has shaped and reflected the society we live in, and I'm really curious to hear how the media has shaped and reflected your stories and your realities. That's what I want to hear about this semester. Now, To get started, what we're going to do this week is you're going to take a look around and get comfortable with Canvas if you aren't yet. Ask me any questions if you need any help with it. You're going to complete your first two discussions. That'll help us get to know each other a little bit better. Read all of the documents provided here. Take the Session 1 quiz. The Session 1 quiz doesn't count for any points, but you have to pass it in order to continue with the course. Buy the book. Read chapter 1. If you can't get the book until next week, I've provided a PDF of the chapter. Make sure you read the syllabus that I've provided here because that's our roadmap for the entire semester, and make sure you download the syllabus document. Don't use the syllabus link on the left. You should also read the hyperlinked article regarding how local reporters break important national stories so we can see how some of that traditional media, some of the information from the traditional media, i.e. newspapers, ends up on social media. If you need any additional help with the class, you can always email me at nhouse@ccp.edu. We can set up a Zoom meeting if you need anything. So that's the introduction, and good luck this semester. Let me know if you need any kind of help, and looking forward to seeing what you come up with.